Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan urges Finance Ministry to bring natural gas under GST regime. Supreme Court turns down plea seeking linking of Aadhaar with social media platforms. Postpaid mobile services restored in Jammu and Kashmir. Ajit Doval says that terrorism is part of Pakistan's state policy. Indian-American Abhijit Banerjee among 3 winners of Nobel Prize for Economics for their approach to rooting out global poverty. And in sports, in women's cricket, India demolished South Africa in third and final one-day international in Vadodara. Good evening, viewers, and welcome to the Northeast News Bulletin. This is Hansraj, and now the details. In national news first, Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan urged the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman and the GST Council to make a beginning by bringing aviation turbine fuel and natural gas under the ambit of GST. Addressing the India Energy Forum, the Petroleum Minister said the government is focusing on making India a low-carbon economy. India is expected to get $58 billion investment in the exploration and production sector by 2023. The minister also informed that an estimated investment of $60 billion is underway for augmenting India's gas infrastructure. Pradhan said the government is pushing to achieve 10% blending percentage of ethanol in petrol by 2022, which in turn will boost the farm economy.
Cheap and clean energy to all its citizens through our CGD initiative. We are going to cover 70% of Indian population. Looking into that, we have appealed to the Honorable Finance Minister, at least a TF and natural gas should come in the ambit of GST. So,
in more national news, the Supreme Court has rejected a public interest litigation seeking a linking of social networking platforms like Facebook and Twitter with Aadhaar. The Apex Court observed that a similar matter is pending before the Madras High Court. The top court was hearing a petition filed by Facebook to transfer cases being heard in the High Courts of Madras, Bombay and Madhya Pradesh in connection with the linking of social media profiles with Aadhaar. In its transfer petition, Facebook had said the cases pending in the High Courts involved similar questions of law and should be heard by the Supreme Court to avoid conflicting judgments. Moving on, postpaid mobile services were restored in the remaining areas of Jammu and Kashmir this afternoon. Now, all the cellular postpaid services are functioning normally in the valley. The move comes close on the heels of the government's decision to lift restrictions on the movement of tourists in the valley. The valley has nearly 66 lakh mobile subscribers. Partial landline telephony resumed in the valley on 17 August and by 4 September, all landlines were made functional. Meanwhile, the police and the security forces deployed in the region are taking all precautionary measures in view of the restoration of mobile services. Meanwhile, National Security Advisor NSA Ajit Doval today said Pakistan is under considerable pressure at the Financial Action Task Force to rein in terror groups operating from its soil. The meeting of the FATF, which is an intergovernmental body to combat money laundering, terrorist financing and other related threats to the integrity of the international financial system, is currently underway in Paris. He said the biggest pressure on Pakistan comes from the functionaries of the FATF. Doval was addressing the National Investigation Agency's National Conference of Chiefs and Anti-Terrorism Squads and Special Task Force in Delhi today. Doval said no country can afford to go in for a war in the present context as the financial and human costs are huge. The NSA added that Pakistan has been using terrorism as an instrument of state policy and everyone knows the neighboring country supports and finances terror.
That is supported and gets its support and sustenance from the sources abroad. So it is very important first to know what happens.
Indian-American Abhijit Banerjee, Esther Duflo and Michael Kremer jointly won the 2019 Nobel Economics Prize for their experimental approach to alleviating global poverty. 58-year-old Banerjee was educated at the University of Kolkata, Jawaharlal Nehru University and Harvard University, where he received his PhD in 1988. He is currently the Ford Foundation International Professor of Economics at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, according to his profile on the MIT website. The Nobel Committee in a statement said the research conducted by this year's laureates has considerably improved the ability to fight global poverty. In just 2 decades, their new experiment-based approach has transformed development economics, which is now a flourishing field of research. In 2003, Avijit Banerjee founded the Abdul Latif Jameel Poverty Action Lab, JPAL, along with Duflo and Sandhil Mulainathan, and he remains one of the lab's directors. Moving on to the northeast, and now in Manipur, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh today inaugurated the neurosurgery ward of Jawaharlal Nehru Institute of Medical Sciences, JNIMS, and laid the foundation stone for the construction of 18 private wards at JNIMS, Imphal. Speaking as chief guest of the function, he said there is a need to work from micro level so to bring inclusive development in the state. It is a collective responsibility of the people to find out the loopholes in the system so that the state can move forward in the path of development, he said. The present government is trying its best to improve the health sector in Manipur, he added. In Meghalaya, Diocesan Administrator of the Shillong Archdiocese, Father John Madhur, has said it was not sure yet when the mortal remains of the Archbishop of Shillong, Reverend Dominic Zala, will reach the capital town. Arrangements to bring the mortal remains of the late Archbishop are pending as an autopsy is required. It will take 3 to 4 days for the body to reach Shillong, as formalities for the releasing of the body will take time because of weekend and holiday in the USA. The Catholic Church has urged its members to pray for the departed soul, and there will be a requiem mass at the Cathedral of Mary Help of Christians, La Mukra, Shillong at 5:30 p.m. every day until the mortal remains of the Archbishop arrive from California. In Manipur, Mera Hauchangba, a festival of oneness and brotherhood among different communities residing in the state, was celebrated with pomp, gaiety and traditional fervor at Kangla on Sunday. The festival, held since ancient times, marks the peaceful relationship between all communities by holding a day-long cultural festival. Earlier, the festival had been organized by the Manipur Kings. Attending the festival, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh welcomed representatives of all communities and witnessed the different cultural shows. He said the ancient stories of brotherhood and the civilization of Manipur should be included in school and college syllabus so that the young generation may understand that people residing in the hills and valley of Manipur share a common ancestry. In Assam, Anand Prakash Tiwari, Managing Director of Assam State Transport Corporation ASTC, today held an informal discussion with the media persons of Guwahati, seeking suggestions to make the forthcoming Indo-Bangla Stakeholders Meet a grand success. Organized by the State Industries Department, Tiwari is in charge of media relations. He briefed the media persons on arrangements made for the delegates and for the media coverage during the summit. Trade and commerce between the two neighboring countries will be the key subjects in the two-day summit to be held in Guwahati on 22nd and 23rd October, Tiwari said.
Communication, trade, commerce, এই বিষয়গুলোর উপর চর্চা হবে। তার বাদে যাবতীয় ব্যবস্থা যেটু করব লাগে, আমি প্রিপারেটরি ওয়ার্ক যেটু করব লাগে, তার বাদে আমি সকলে মিডিয়ার বন্ধু সকলে আজি বহিছো, যাতে কেনে ধরনে আমার তার মিডিয়া সেন্টার হব, কেনে ধরনের ব্রিফিং কারণে ফ্যাসিলিটেট করা যাব, কেনেকে।
In women's cricket, India won the third and final one-dayer against South Africa by 6 runs at Vadodara today. Electing to bat first, India scored 146 runs in 45.5 overs. For India, Harmanpreet Kaur scored a brilliant 38 runs and Shikha Pandey 35. Ekta Visht scalped 3 South African wickets, while DB Sharma and RS Gaikwad claimed 2 wickets each. India women have already clinched the ODI series with 2 consecutive wins. Earlier, India clinched the 6-match T20 series 3-1, with 2 games being washed out due to rains. In Nagaland, Miss Mon 2019 pageant was organized by Konyak Nupo Shekho Khong, aka NSK, under the theme Beyond the Beautiful at Council Hall, Mon. 22-year-old Miss Echi was crowned Miss Mon, while Tungam Rokam and Hezang begged the first and second runners-up positions respectively. Titles for Miss Photogenic, Miss Talented, Miss Congeniality, Miss Perfect 10 and Miss Catwalk were won by Gunyang Gampe, Echi, Hezang and Gapcho respectively. Altogether, 11 contestants participated in the competitions, and Deputy Commissioner Mon Tavasilan K was the guest of honor at the event. In Meghalaya, the Khasi Jaintia Shohtan clan held a meeting to unify the entire clan in different parts of the state. More than 400 people from the clan from all over the Khasi Jaintia region took part in the gathering. The meeting was held after 14 years at Pomlakara, and the heads of the Shohtan clan were present. Hima Miliam Sanborlang Shohtan said all the members of the clan should work together and unite to strengthen the clan. In Nagaland, Kohima district level competition on Kala Utsav was held today at Deputy Commissioner's Conference Hall, Kohima. Briefing on the Kala Utsav, the Deputy Commissioner Director Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan Timothy Thong said the Kala Utsav is an initiative of the Union Ministry of Human Resources Development to promote arts in education by nurturing and showcasing the artistic talents of school students at the secondary stage of education in the country. And now the weather report.
Satellite imagery of the northeast shows that weather will be mainly dry over the region with isolated rain over Mizoram and Tripura during the next 24 hours. The temperatures recorded today at some of the state capitals of the region are as follows. Guwahati recorded a maximum of 33.6 degrees Celsius and minimum of 21.8 degrees Celsius. Itanagar 34.3 and 21.3. Kohima 24.4 and 16.6. Imphal 31.3 and 17.4. Aizawl 28.2 and 17. Agartala 33.6 and 22.2, Shillong 23.7 and 11.5, and Gangtok recorded a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius and a minimum of 13 degrees Celsius.
And before we wind up the bulletin, a recap of the headlines. Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan urges Finance Ministry to bring natural gas under GST regime. Supreme Court turns down plea seeking linking of Aadhaar with social media platforms. Postpaid mobile services are restored in Jammu and Kashmir. Ajit Doval says that terrorism is part of Pakistan's state policy. Indian-American Avijit Banerjee among 3 winners of Nobel Prize for Economics for their approach to rooting out global poverty. And in sports, in women's cricket, India demolished South Africa in third and final one-day international in Vadodara. And that brings us to the end of this evening's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.